people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fingers and say, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy.
Okay, and now it's time for another installment of what is fast becoming the most popular segment here on the channel, Ring IQ Hate Mail! My previous video, we talked about ESPN's current pound-for-pound ranked standings in the women's game, and how they've got Claressa Shields at number 1, which I don't agree with. For a myriad of reasons I mentioned in the video, none of which Legendary Boxing 2026 cared to address.
Why are you mad?
Saying rightfully so, I know you are still in the Matrix, Ring IQ, and haven't been unplugged yet, but in the real world, Claressa Shields is clearly number 1, and it's not even close.
Is that why the tickets for her fight aren't selling?
In the real world, you say that I'm the one who's still plugged up to the Matrix, but the only place that Claressa's fans seem to exist is online, not in the real world. Otherwise,
in the Matrix.
The ticket sales for her fights would do a lot better, and you wouldn't be able to see so many empty seats whenever she is on TV.
Ask him if he's going to her fight.
Hey, Legendary Boxing, are you gonna be there for the Franchon Cruz fight? Pardon me for saying so, but becoming pound-for-pound number 1 should be a lot harder than fighting a 42-year-old with only 5 professional fights who had never been 10 rounds before for a bunch of vacant titles.
That's what makes her number 1?
That's why I couldn't debate any of the points I raised, because it's irrefutable. These are matters of fact, matters of substance. The only divisions Claressa Shields rules are divisions with nobody in them.
Look at who she's fighting now. Girl that she beat already, ages ago, in a fight that nobody was asking for.
That's why the tickets aren't selling. That's why the most news that Claressa Shields is making isn't for any fight that she's having or about to have, so much as her relationship with Papoose and the love triangle between her and Remy Martin.
That's the only time anybody in the real world, as you say, seems to take an interest in her. But go on.
If you're the kind of guy who swears by ESPN and lets them tell you what to think, more power to you. It's never been the case around here, though. David MTBE said, ESPN ranks Claressa Shields pound-for-pound number 1 and people aren't happy. Me, on the other hand, never been big on pound-for-pound lists, and I never would put a heavyweight on a pound-for-pound list because the entire point of the list is to measure the skill versus the heavyweight, and putting Claressa and Usyk on the list defeats the entire purpose of the list.
No, it doesn't. You might have had a point if they were career heavyweights, but we all know that they're not. Claressa started out at super middle, Usyk started out at cruiser. You know that.
But if I were gonna make a women's pound-for-pound list, first would be Katie, and second Claressa, because Katie has been running wild versus kick-ass competition for years and years. Katie can retire pound-for-pound number 1. Nobody can take that away from her.
Well, ESPN just tried to.
Then Claressa will be number 1. And may as well say Usyk is too, since we're putting him on the list. Usyk surpasses Crawford.
Well, to some people he actually did. Some people felt Usyk's resume is better than Crawford's.
This is what is called a false equivalency argument. You're comparing Claressa to Usyk because they both ventured to the heavyweight division. The difference is when Usyk went up to heavyweight, there were actually people there. When Claressa did it, there was nobody there.
Ain't nobody there now. That's why she's fighting Franchon again.
Whereas Usyk has a proverbial cornucopia of potential opponents to choose from because there are actually people there. And that's the point. How do you award someone pound-for-pound number 1 for competing in divisions where there's nobody to fight?
Stupid.
Usyk being number 1 on a pound-for-pound list is not hard to understand because he's the most literal iteration of what a pound-for-pound fighter is supposed to be. When you're talking about anybody else, it's just a thesis. It's just figurative. If you were the same size as a heavyweight, whereas with Usyk, it's a reality.
So to speak.
It's a reality that he's up there, beating up heavyweights, even though he himself is not a heavyweight, and you can see that plain as day. He doesn't have the height, the length, or the size of a Tyson Fury, an Anthony Joshua, a Daniel Dubois, yet somehow he's beating these guys.
Because he's got the skills, and that's what pound for pound is about. Skill. Now do that with Claressa.
Last girl Clarissa Shields fought. Was that even a heavyweight? No, it wasn't. It was a light heavyweight she brought up in weight in Franchon Cruz.
A super middleweight she's bringing up in weight, and one that she beat already.
Is that supposed to be the same thing that Usyk did? 'Cause it doesn't look like it.
It's one of those girls that Clarissa fought at heavyweight is the equivalent of Tyson Fury. Danielle Perkins in her 5 fights?
No, it's Vanessa Joannese, right? That's her Tyson Fury. That's her Anthony Joshua. That's her Daniel Dubois.
Except Clarissa, the night of the fight, looked bigger than Vanessa.
You'd get a gold medal in mental gymnastics trying to compare Clarissa's heavyweight run to Usyk's heavyweight run because it so clearly is not the same thing.
Why do you want it to be?
Moral of the story? If you can't address the talking points I raised, point by point, you can't address me at all, so don't try to. If you're happy with ESPN's ranked standings, then you can swear by them, but don't expect me to do that because I never have.
I don't know a lot of people that do, to be honest.
In men's lightweight news, per veteran boxing scribe Dan Rafael, I forgot to post this the other day, per the WBA, Gervonta Davis, who is inactive and wanted by cops for domestic violence, has been stripped of his lightweight title and made a champion in recess. I'm told by the WBA, vacant title, fight to be ordered, will be either Floyd Schofield versus Lucas Body or Floyd Schofield versus Lamont Roach.
This news broke yesterday, and now that the Schofields themselves have had a chance to react to it, this is what they had to say.
Who's the task that you feel like the people, the boxing world, want to see your son in?
I don't know. I'll say Lucas Body is on a better promotional team as far as Netflix and they were
MVP?
MVP. I say, they got the biggest stage, just as big as the zone, probably bigger. So I say if Oscar not with the zone, he's like a free agent. So skies is the limit for that fight. Which side he going? So for me, I'd say Lucas Body would be the bigger one because Roach don't have a network behind him or a big promotional company like that behind him. I think PBC. Who Roach on PBC?
Yeah, well, Pro Box more.
See, they don't. Who they on the zone? Like who's there?
No, Pro Box got their own YouTube channel.
So
Application, but yeah, he's kind of a PBC fighter. His last couple fights were PBC.
So I think Netflix will be the biggest thing for eyes on it. So I would say Lucas Body.
Okay, so you think if it is Lucas Body, you feel like it would be a Netflix event?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It would come down, see, because we hold the belts, but it's like, what's the network? See, I don't know what's the talks in the back room. I'm not Eric Gomez or Oscar. They got the plan for that. So they putting that together. But I say, you ask me who's the hardest between the two or who's the biggest, I think it would be Lucas Body because Netflix have millions of subscribers. Jake Paul involved, MVP involved, that's eyes involved. They got a huge platform.
So there could be more eyes on that fight, you believe?
I believe so.
It's like Mama Skull can't open her mouth without being disingenuous because nobody in boxing thinks a Lucas Body fight would be bigger than a Lamont Roach fight. Most boxing fans don't even know who Lucas Body is.
Lamont Roach by himself is a bigger name than him, and Lamont Roach has been in there with the bigger names like Gervonta Davis, Isak Cruz, neither of which were able to beat him.
That's why the Schofields ain't really up for this, because they don't know if Floyd can beat him. If Gervonta Davis couldn't knock him out and Isak Cruz couldn't run him over, what the fuck is Floyd Schofield gonna do? Now, what is true, and what I have to concede, Lucas Body is with the better, stronger team, the better, stronger promotion. He's with MVP. Lamont Roach is with Pro Box. Pro Box by themselves can't afford to put together a fight between Levant
and Floyd.
But MVP can afford to put together a fight between Lucas and Floyd. Though let's not pretend that if the Schofields have a preference and they prefer Lucas over Lamont, it's because Lucas seems more beatable to them. Lamont is the more proven fighter. The guy who was a champion at 130 took Gervonta Davis to a draw at 135 and Isak Cruz to a draw at 140. They don't want no parts of that guy.
They don't know if they can beat him.
They don't want to find out. When this news first broke a day or so ago, in my head, reacting to it, I thought to myself, this is a golden opportunity for Floyd Schofield to make a splash and upstage Gervonta Davis, upstage Isak Cruz, established names, bigger than his. This would have been his chance.
He doesn't want it.
Tell by Mama Sko's whole demeanor towards the fight, pretending that one fight isn't clearly bigger than the other. Even though it's true that Lucas is with a better promotion, the fight with Lamont is still the bigger fight. That's the fight that a lot of people would pay attention to. That's the fight that would make people sit up in their chairs to see what happens, not the body fight.
So then why don't Golden Boy pay for it?
Golden Boy Promotions is between broadcasters right now and are facing an uncertain future. We don't know with any certainty that DAZN will re-up with them. We don't know, the Schofields don't know, and until we have those answers.
Say, even if we did, the Schofields wouldn't want that fight. These are the same guys that ducked Ashton Silva, Shakur Stevenson, priced themselves out of an Abdullah Mason fight. So now you think they want to fight Lamont Roach for a belt? They don't want to fight anybody who can fight. They're still patting themselves on the back that they beat Tevin Farmer coming off of 3 losses.
In an ideal world, this would be the part where the WBA makes the decision for them in favor of the bigger fight and the better fight with the more formidable fighter, and that would be Lamont. In an ideal world, that is the function that a sanctioning body is supposed to perform, but the WBA can't be trusted to do their job.
So it's in the air. I don't know what's going to happen.
But I don't get the sense that the Schofields would share the ring with Lamont Roach willingly. American fighters, they just aren't hungry anymore. They don't want to prove they're the best. They're all about the shortcuts now. There was a time where, if an opportunity like this landed on a fighter's lap, an unbeaten one,
They jump at the chance.
to prove their worth, you hear the stories of how a young Evander Holyfield chased down a Mike Tyson fight at a time where Mike Tyson was the most feared man on the planet. Evander wanted to test his mettle. You just don't see guys like that anymore. Not around here.
Go fight Lucas Body, Floyd. We all know that's what you're going to do.
Men's super middleweight news, Canelo Alvarez named world's second highest paid athlete after earning $137 million in the previous year. The second highest paid athlete and the most highest paid boxer.
He's not done breaking the bank yet.
Canelo Alvarez may have finished 2025 with a loss on his ledger, but the bank account for boxing's biggest breadwinner clearly indicates he's still a winner. Sports media publication Sportico released its 5th annual 100 highest paid athletes in the world list for last year, and Alvarez was ranked as the second highest paid athlete in the world, with $137 million in estimated earnings.
Remember when I told you he's still the face of boxing?
From the figure, $125 million was from his fights against William Skull in May and Terence Crawford in September, with another $12 million coming in from endorsements. Alvarez signed a highly lucrative 4-fight deal with Riyadh Season in February that continues into this upcoming September when he returns to the ring. 3 other boxers also made the Penske-owned company's list. Coming in at number 21 was Alvarez's conqueror in Terence Crawford. The recently retired Crawford fought only once last year and made an estimated $66 million, $60 million in salary, winnings, $6 million in endorsements. Trailing not too far behind Crawford at number 25 is undisputed junior featherweight champion Naoya Inoue with $62 million in estimated earnings, an astronomical number for a fighter that fights at the lower weights. Never before has a super bantamweight been paid out that kind of scratch. $45 million in salary, winnings, $17 million in endorsements. The incredibly active Inoue fought 4 times in 2025 and beat Yi Jun Kim, Ramon Cardenas, Mutajan Akhmadaliev, and David Allen Picasso. Rounding out the list of fighters who made the list was Jake Paul at number 30. Paul raked in $60 million in estimated earnings, $50 million in salary winnings, $10 million in endorsements. Paul fought twice last year, a unanimous decision win against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in June, and a 6th-round knockout loss to Anthony Joshua on December 19th. Cristiano Ronaldo led all athletes with a total of $260 million in estimated earnings, $200 million in salary winnings, $60 million in endorsements. Sportico's list included athletes from 8 sports and 28 countries. The top 100 list and Sportico's rankings methodology can be reviewed in their entirety.
So, I mean, it's not surprising. It's in keeping with what I've been telling you about Canelo Alvarez this whole time. Whether you like him or not, think he's overrated or not, he's the face of boxing, and that's what his earnings show. Because being the face of boxing is a numbers game. It's not about being perfect or having a perfect record.
It's not about being unbeaten. People have conflated Floyd Mayweather and Floyd Mayweather's era,
Because he was unbeaten.
but it's not a requisite that the face of boxing stay unbeaten to be the face of boxing, because being the face is all about moving the needle, generating the most revenue, and making the most from your fights. For the women, I would say it's a tie, right down the middle, between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, as they're the two fighters that make the most in the women's game. In the men's game, it's Canelo.
Still Canelo. I don't know why that bothers so many people, that he's still on top.
They say that absence makes the heart grow fonder, and Canelo Alvarez's absence from his customary Cinco de Mayo weekend date
It's only going to make people miss him even more and come out in droves even more when he does come back, when he does fight in September, irrespective of who it's against. It doesn't matter, because it's him they're coming to see.
He could fight Armando Resendiz. He could fight the winner of Shiraz versus Pacheco. He could fight Christian Mobili. He can fight a ham sandwich.
They're coming to see him.
And boxing still needs him as the sport's top earner and the guy who brings the most attention to it. Organic attention.
That's why what you earn is the earmark for whether or not you're the face, because what you earn is all based on what you generate when you fight. It's not complicated.
Now, what exactly Canelo Alvarez has left to give the sport of boxing over 60 fights in his mid-30s, your guess is as good as mine. Terrence beat him, but everybody's not Terrence.
So maybe Canelo Alvarez here today is not everything he used to be, but maybe he doesn't need to be to beat some of these guys. We'll see when he comes back and who he fights.